Try to catch me howling at the moon.
That's not something you see every day, but only at trade night. Mr. Trevor Lawrence.
How we doing?
This is out of this world. Today is definitely the craziest day ever at a card show. A lot of time ahead and a lot of opportunity to make this place special every day. So, all right, what's going on YouTube? Card Collects 2 coming at you here with a brand new video. And today we are back to answer all of your questions about the biggest card show in the world, the National Card Convention. This year it will be held in Chicago, and while most of you, I'm sure, are looking forward to this is really one of the highlights of our year. I've been to the National every year since 2009, so I really consider myself quote-unquote national expert at this point. This is the best show in the world and is a blast. We've done a lot of content on our page about this in the past, whether it be National Prep with a couple different series about preparing for the National. We've done those on our channel. Feel free to check those out. Those are still applicable to this day. And then we've done vlogs, short form content, really a whole bunch of different stuff. So I think in this one, we're gonna try to make one video answering as many questions as possible. We got these questions off of Instagram, posted them on my story and said, how can we help you? What questions could we answer? So today's video, I'm gonna highlight some of the more popular questions and try to answer as many of those in as quick fashion as possible. So a lot of different ones came in, a lot of good questions. Want to try to get to the ones that were most popular though. One of the more popular questions regarding money, and one of the questions I've always been asked is, how much money should I take? And my answer every time is very simple, $5,285.12. That is how much money you should take. While that's a joke and a very specific and odd number, the case is different for every single person, right? I always say, if you have bills and things that are due, pay those ahead of time. Because when you go to the biggest sports card show in the world, the saying is, if you can't find it at the National, they probably didn't make it. So taking all of your money, all of your free cash into a show and you don't really want to spend it is probably not wise, because I assure you there is something in there you'll want to buy. Whether it's the show exclusive things, which we'll get to here in a second, whether it's cool cards or great value boxes, memorabilia you haven't seen, there's really a lot for everyone. So I would say the cash scenario, the cash question is based on you and your specific case. Now, breaking that down a little bit farther, one of the questions we'll get asked is, do dealers take cash, Venmo, PayPal, check, IOU? I don't know, right? The answer is, it's different for every dealer. Some dealers will take electronic payment, Venmo, Cash App, Zelle, PayPal, etc. Some won't, some only want cash. So I think it's safe to say most want cash. I can't imagine most don't want cash. So it's safe to say cash is your best bet. But we are in 2023, so many dealers probably take electronic payment, but it's just a case-by-case scenario. So expect that, I think the easiest way to look is expect that they won't, hope that they do. So prepare for that. If they do, even better, but if not, you're at least prepared if you have cash. Continuing on the cash content question, another one we get asked a lot is, should I take more cash, more cards? How should I handle that? And again, this is different for everyone. For me, when I was young and first started going, I didn't take any cards. I always wanted cash to spend. I didn't want to trade or sell at the show. I didn't feel like my cards would be worth as much to dealers who spent a lot of money setting up. So I went into it with the idea that I would rather have money to spend than cards to take. But that case is different for everyone. I think something to consider when answering this question is, what is your plan? Are you looking to trade? Are you looking to sell? Are you looking to buy? I think your plan on this will help answer the question for you. Not really a one-size-fits-all answer. Do you want to lug all your stuff in your book bag, your Zion case? Do you want to lug that stuff around all week? That's up to you. Do you want to not have cards for trade night? Do you want to have cash instead? Really, can't answer that question. It's more of a you question. But on that topic, a good tip I got early on, and I love to pass along, is if there's something you think you would want to keep in your personal collection to enjoy, you shouldn't take it to the National. There's a good chance somebody at the show is gonna want that particular card, and you're gonna see a lot of really cool stuff there, whether it be at shows, trade nights, anything. You're gonna see a lot of cool stuff. It's probably better to leave the things you don't wanna move at home. All right, so continuing on here, want to get into some of the questions about the venue, internet, if you're going one day, some of these questions we got asked here, so try to get through these a little bit rapid fire. Is internet going to be better than last year? Clearly was not good in Atlantic City. It was $90 a day. Didn't work very well, but was better than not having it. Certainly didn't work if you didn't pay for the Wi-Fi, but don't know. It's typically not bad, but you're in a big building. These are 500,000 continuous square feet in order to host the National. That's one of the requirements. So there's a lot of square footage. These are big buildings. Assume it's not going to work and plan accordingly. If it does, it's a bonus. How crowded is it really? Chicago is one of the best venues for the National at the Donald E. Stephens Convention Center for a social aspect. There are 5 hotels within like 50 yards of the front door of the convention center. Multiple of them are attached. So it makes it really nice afterwards for trade nights in the lobby, easy deals. It feels safe in that close proximity there. But inside the show in the past, it is definitely the tightest aisles of any convention center. I've been to Baltimore for the National, Cleveland, Atlantic City, Chicago. It's been all over. Definitely feels the most crowded inside in Chicago. Now, they've expanded it this year. They've added more space that has not been there in the past. Will that allow for more free flowing in the aisles? Not sure, but I would anticipate this one is probably pretty packed. So we'll see, but expect it to be crowded. All right, so next question is, if I'm going for only one day, what's the best way to approach the show? And again, I think this talks more specifically to what are your goals? There's a lot you can do at this show. You couldn't see it all in one day, but what's your plan? Do you want to grade cards? Do you want to take advantage of the show exclusive promotions? I'm sure Topps and Fanatics will have promo packs. Panini will have silver packs. Panini's going to have probably box battles and redemption. I know they got the redemption stuff going on where you can trade in old redemptions or outstanding redemptions for stuff. I'm sure Leaf, Onyx, a lot of those other company, Wildcard, will have things going on. Do you want to watch stuff on the main stage? Do you want to check out big setups like Whatnot? I know Whatnot had a crazy one last year. They had carnival games there. Do you want to get cards graded? There's so much to do. You want to go through value boxes. So really, I think planning it out accordingly. One of the things I'll say now is with like the show exclusive things like the silver packs at Panini. Back years and years ago, the Baltimore Atlantic City days, 2010, 11, back in there, you could, as soon as you got in the door, you rushed over to Panini, you waited in line, they would open it, and you'd go. Now a lot of that kind of stuff is, hey, we'll start this at noon. If the show opens at 9, you may not want to wait at noon. It depends, especially if you're only going one day. Do you want to waste 3 hours in line? Depends. So a lot of those things now are designated times, whereas PSA, Beckett, SGC, some of those grading companies probably start taking grading orders the second the show opens. And if that happens, those lines fill very quickly. So getting there first and foremost will probably help you save on a lot of time and not have to waste all day spending in line. Again, there's so many dealers, hundreds of dealers at this show, so much to see. Typically, my piece of advice is try to accomplish some of your non-card related, like looking at tables, try to accomplish some of those other things first. Get an idea of when you can get silver packs, what free promotions or show exclusive things you want to take advantage of, whether that be from a production company like Panini or Topps or getting cards graded, whatever that may be. Try to take advantage of those things early and then start exploring. But again, this is not a one-size-fits-all answer. If you want to do it backwards, try to grade something at the end, completely your call. From personal experience, I like to cross those things off my list early and then know that I have more time to go through value boxes, dig, make deals after the fact. Is it possible to see everything in one day? Depends how fast you're moving, what you want to accomplish. There is a lot. Again, this is a big building. This is anything and everything cards. There's so much to see. It is overwhelming. It's a great piece of advice if you've never been, is know you're going to be overwhelmed. The second you walk in this room, it is crazy. You'll walk in and you'll see a Babe Ruth game used jersey. You'll see a showcase filled with Manals. You'll see all the high-end cards. You'll see rare cases. You'll see Panini with these special packs, and Topps has stuff going on. There's going to be a lot, and it's going to be really overwhelming. Know that going into it. So is it possible to see it all in one day? Absolutely, it is. Are you going to be able to go through every single value box, see every single card in every single table? Might be tough. Could you do it? I'm sure, but you'd really have to be moving. I would go into it with the idea that if you were trying to see as much as possible, you're going to have to spend very little time at each table. There's so many tables. It's not a strategy I would recommend. I would try to find a couple you would really want to look at first. Take pictures of those booths. Always recommend that so you know where they are. And then find 4, 5, 6 you really want to look at and spend your time there. I think that would be more successful than just trying to scatter and see everything. But again, a lot of these answers are not one size fits all. All right, so another question we got asked a lot is, are tickets available at the door? So general admission is $30 at the door. You've got a 5-day early pass for $150, and it looks like all of the VIP options are sold out. Those typically go pretty quick. Just like hotels, those things book up and get sold very, very, very early. So the closer you get to the show, the harder it is to get VIP packages, the harder it is to get hotel rooms. Those things are filled typically months in advance. But if you have more questions, the website is nsccshow.com. Is that right, Brian? Yep. nsccshow.com. You can go there. This is a great place to look for anything about the National, questions we might not be able to get to. Check out the website. They have all of the answers you could possibly need. Another question on here is, where's the National next year? The National is in Cleveland next year. 2026 is still up in, or 2025? I think it goes back to Chicago, and then 2026 is still up in the air. But I know 2024 is in Cleveland. Is a trade-up challenge doable? I don't think the trade-up challenge was a real big thing when I started going to the Nationals, so there's definitely a lot more dealers to deal with. Tough question to answer. Is it doable? Sure. How much work you want to put into it? I guess that's another question. Are people interested in high-end cards? Yes. I mean, there's so many dealers, right? All of the big dealers across the country will be there. I'm sure they'll be looking to make deals. What's your advice for a first-time vendor at the show? I think my advice for a first-time vendor would also be for somebody that's going for the first time that has things to move. Cards for sale, cards for trade. Price your cards. For sure, couldn't recommend that enough. If the internet does not work, looking up comps, those things, that's a tricky situation to be in when you don't have internet, and it could make dealing very, very difficult. Have prices on your cards if you're a vendor for sure. It saves you and the customer a lot of time. But if you're also looking to make trades, whether at trade night, with dealers, if you're just walking around setting up, you're a patron, you're not a vendor, I would definitely tell you to price cards. If the internet doesn't work, you have a much bigger headache on your hand if cards are not priced. For sure would be one of my biggest pieces of advice. If you aren't set up, can you still sell cards? This is a great question. Typically, I have had no trouble selling cards when I'm not set up. But again, every dealer is different. Some dealers will want a deal, some dealers won't. I think it's just polite to go up to a dealer and say, hey, are you willing to buy today? Would you want to take a look at my stuff? You approach them nicely and ask. You'll get a yes or a no. Don't be upset if someone gives you a no. It's expensive to go. It's expensive to set up. Not every dealer might want to buy on the first day. If they have a really good show, they might want to buy on the weekend. It just depends. Again, a lot of these are case-by-case basis. So just go into it with an open mind, and I'm sure there will be plenty of dealers looking to make deals. What are the best days for the National? So I've talked about this before in a lot of our content. This depends on your goal. Probably the best full day is Thursday. It's not as busy as Saturday. I feel like the weekends are a lot busier. Sunday, a lot of the dealers are trying to get out of there, so it's a little bit it's not a full day. Friday's pretty busy. Thursday has trade night. I'll get to that in a second. So I would say Thursday is the best day to go. Closest to the beginning, most action. I think Thursday is a great day. Tips on what to bring with me. So there's a lot of different things you could put on this list. A couple to come to mind immediately is if you bring cash, a way to protect your cash, whether that's a locked bank bag, something to protect cash that you feel safe carrying around in your bag. Certainly don't display it. Certainly don't flaunt it. Definitely don't want to do that. Some sort of portable mobile charger. Those are great. We use the big, I think they're like Anchors. Is that what they're called, Brian? They're big bricks, but we use those for power. Have the appropriate cord. Click the button, plug it into your phone if you need it. I think those are two that come to mind right away. Comfortable shoes, fresh socks. And I'm not talking like a pair you have. I'm talking like brand new, nice, comfortable socks. You buy a pair of socks for like $3. Sounds kind of crazy, but a fresh pair of socks when you're walking on concrete for a lot of, 3, 4, 5 days in a row, it is a lot. So a couple things there. Granola bar, mini bottles of water, things you can throw in your bag that don't take up a lot of space, that you can stop midday, grab a snack rather than lunch. Assume the concession stands are expensive. So assume a hot dog and a drink and a side of like a chips or a granola bar is probably going to cost you $23 to $26. It's not going to be cheap. So having an idea of what you're going to eat, where you're going to eat, when you're going to eat, that will probably save you some time, money, and headache, so you don't get to do what Brian and I do, where it's 2 o'clock and we're like, hey, we haven't eaten, let's go grab something quick, and you end up paying $45 or $50 for 2 hot dogs, 2 chips, and 2 waters. Not an ideal solution, so definitely plan accordingly there, granola bars, stuff like that. Then another thing is, probably my last tip here on what to bring, some sort of easy access supply. 100 count snap tight is one of the best things I recommend. A lot of value boxes you'll see there, $quarter, $2, whatever, either have sleeves or no sleeves at all. You can grab, they're behind me with the supplies, but it's just a little 2-piece. It's a 100 count. You take the lid off, put the lid back on. They cost $2 or less. Throw them in your bag, grab 2 of those. That way you can put 100 cards in there. You don't need to bring a pack of sleeves and top loaders. Pack of top loaders is 25 top loaders. You get $50 cards, you need a sleeve and top load. You're going to take up twice as much space there. You got to find a place to put those. It's easier just to grab 100 count, throw them in your bag, put the cards in there, take them back to your hotel room, and do that later. So how often do you need to charge your phone if you stay all day? Bring a portable charger, like I talked about that. Snacks and drinks, yes. Not sure that's what they want us to tell you, but typically I throw a granola bar in the bag, and it's kind of how we go about it. It says right here, again, any tips for someone attending for the first time? I would encourage you to watch our Preparing for the National series. That is 4 separate videos, 5 separate videos. Those are really, really long and talk way more in depth than this. This is meant to be a Q&A for just some quick hitting questions. Those go way more in depth. On-site grading. It's been a long time since I've done on-site grading. Typically what I would tell you is check the websites of the 3-4 major companies you're thinking about grading. They'll tell you about turnaround time, price, stuff like that. Just know that the lines fill very, very quickly, and typically they're in very, very, very high demand. So get there early if you don't like waiting in lines. How do you get white or black boxes from your redemptions? This was a very popular question. Again, this is going to be with Panini through their redemption process. Haven't done this in quite some time. I know Pac-Man's done it recently. He probably has some more knowledge on that. It's been a while. Typically, in the past, you waited in line. They talked about your redemptions. They would trade them out. I think now it's more of a schedule a meeting time. Let's say 12:15, you go there, they talk about it with you rather than waiting in line. Again, I would check Panini out for more information on that, but that is how it's worked in the past. It says, how do you get the national exclusive packs? Another popular question. So this has varied so much over the years. The Panini one is the one I have the most experience with. Being a football, basketball guy, it's a lot easier to talk to that because Panini doesn't do as much baseball. But typically how it's been in the past is, like last year, there's a list of product that will be available. Panini will likely post this on their page as we get closer to the show. They'll have a list of product, and it'll tell you how many silver packs or redemption packs you'll get with that box. So for instance, I think Chronicles Draft Picks 2022 football last year was like 3 packs. I'll post the list right here. I still have it. But let's say Chronicles Draft Picks is like 3 packs. So what you have to do is you have to go to one of the dealers at the show. It's like David Adams, Blowout, Steel City, Chicagoland. There's a whole bunch of them that are authorized there. They'll have typically some sort of sticker or redemption, something with it. You grab the box, they give you the box and this sticker. You take that over to Panini. Panini cuts the wrapper of the box, takes your sticker, and gives you your 3 packs. So now you have a box with packs to open, but no wrapping, and your 3 bonus packs. That's typically how it works. There's usually a line. There's a lot of other things at play with this, but that is the generic version of how this has worked in the past. Again, it's fluctuated over the years, but pretty standard. That's how it works. I know in the past, most times there's a limit on how many boxes you can do at a time. You can't go buy 6 cases of X product, take them over. They got to cut all of them. They got to check all of them. It typically slows down the line. So in the past, a lot of that stuff has been prohibited. It's typically 2 to 4 boxes. Again, I don't know what it is this year. I have not talked to Panini. I do not know. But in the past, that is what it has been. All right, so that's a lot of the questions about the promotions. Again, there will obviously be many, many, many other promotions there. I'm sure a lot of these companies will have show exclusive things. Buy this box, get this. I know Leaf does one every year. Topps will definitely have one. Zero Cool had Stranger cards there last year. Wild Card had a promotion. There's so many of them. Maybe I'll try to reach out to some of those companies, get that information, share it on my story on Instagram. So make sure you guys follow us on there. And then some of the questions are just more about us, the business, the show, some stuff like that. So I want to try to get to these. Are you going to be at the National? Will we be there? The intention is to be there. What days, when, how long are still up in the air. Obviously, life has changed for us in the past couple months here with a new addition to my family. My wife and I were fortunate enough to bring a baby boy into the world here recently. So that obviously changes so much in our world. We will not be set up. First and foremost, I want to be very clear about that. We are not going to be set up. If I be there, it will likely be Brian and I filming some different content throughout the week. So stay tuned for that if we do go. But that is the intention. So when, where, why, how long, all of that stuff is still to be determined. I realize we're last minute, but with life and priorities changing, it is not the number one priority as it might have been for the past 14 years. This year is certainly different. Will the rest of the team be there as well? No, most of the team will not be there. I think our intention would be to be pretty light this year if we go. Just unfortunately not setting up, not the big priority with the new addition. So not this year. If you aren't setting up, are you going to be there buying? If we go, the intention will definitely be to buy. From folks that we walk around and meet, plenty of dealers. I think the goal would definitely be to set up some really cool deals and make some stuff happen. It's the biggest card show in the world. It's like Christmas for sports card collectors. It is a blast. So the intention would definitely be to buy, but I think this is going to be the most relaxed we'd ever be at this show. Normally this is a pretty hectic, stressful week, but again, life changes, priorities change, so I think this is going to be one to enjoy and make the most of if we're able to get out there. Would you buy out entire collections on day one to have money to spend for the National? Always. We love to buy. If you have pictures, prices, that kind of stuff, you can always shoot us an email. It's just buying@cardcollector2.com. If you do that, we can take a look, try to get an idea if it's something we would want to pursue when we're there. Obviously, we're going to be looking to buy if we go. There's a lot of dealers, so little time. So trying to maximize the money will be maximize the time will be important, but certainly open to anything. Are you going to be doing a trade night? Probably should have answered this question a little bit sooner. Shout out to those of you that made it this far and have watched. But there will be a trade night. I'm actually going to pull up the graphic here. I had it on my lap to have this ready. I got this sent to me earlier from the team over at Kentucky Basketball Cards. They were actually the ones who set a lot of this up this year. Unfortunately, because of the new edition, it was not something I could really take on the time with. So a lot of Jimmy's team did a fantastic job setting it up. It is the official trade night of the National. It will be Thursday, 7 to 10 p.m. on the second floor ballroom in the convention center. So it will be in the same venue as the show. It will be on the second floor, likely take an escalator up, I would assume, escalator, elevator, something like that. Got some sponsors this year, Panini, Drip, Heritage Auctions. So shout out to them for working with Jimmy and everybody at the Kentucky Roadshow, or the Roadshow Cards, for working on that, getting that set up. So excited to see how that turns out this year. Trade night will be there, again, 7 to 10, Thursday, second floor ballroom. So that's really what I know. I have not been involved in the planning process. How many people can get in the room? That was an issue last year. We hit capacity within like 5 minutes. Don't know about it this year. Will there be free things? Don't know about it this year. I don't assume there'll be an autograph signer, but I haven't heard. truthfully, genuinely, I have not been involved in this at all. If we go, we'll definitely be there, trading, hanging out, seeing people, catching up. If we go, but that is the information I've got at the moment. I'll pass along. If I have any more, if anything else changes, stay tuned to the Instagram page. That's where we post updates about this kind of stuff. It's just Card Collector 2 on Instagram. All right, and then last couple questions. How many vlogs will we do? Not sure. Again, I think so much of this is still open just because of life. So we'll see. Have any merch? We won't have any merch with us just because of the lack of people. We'll make it hard to carry that kind of stuff with us. So I think I got to most questions. Try to get to as many as possible. This video is probably a little bit longer than we anticipated. We'll try to do another Q&A sometime on Instagram in the next few days or so leading up to the show, trying to answer some questions. Maybe we do a story Q&A to continue to answer these. So stay tuned to Instagram because I will try to put something on there that can answer more of these questions to be as helpful as possible. In 14 years, I have learned what to do, what not to do, and so many things in between. This video is meant to help anybody and everybody. Just even if you can pick up one thing from this that might make your experience a little bit better and save you a headache, that is the goal. So comment down below. Let me know, are you going to go to the National this year? What did you find helpful from this video and what other questions can we answer? Let me know, but stay tuned, guys. We may be in Chicago and there may be some cool card content coming from that, but we'll see. That's all I got for now, guys. Peace.